Okay, so we're doing another little crochet DIY. This one is a little quarter holder for if you go to Aldi's. Their carts require quarters, so it's nice having one handy dandy. This one I actually used kind of too small of a snap, but we'll get to that. So what you need, I used an F-size crochet hook, yarn. This one I'm going to be using this nice brown. It's just worsted weight acrylic, nothing fancy. I think that one is Mainstays, which is Walmart's brand. Scissors, of course. You need a snap. This one I'm using is a bit bigger than the one I used on that one, so it'll be a bit stronger. This one is just Dritz, so classic. Yarn needles. I keep mine in an old pill bottle so that small kids can't get to them. And then needles and thread. And then I also like to add a little button just for a little extra thing. So I got my little button tin, which I couldn't find, but I found it just in time because I was about to cut one off of my husband's work uniform and blame it on them. So what we are going to do, if I can find the end, because this was just one that I had, so of course it's tangled. Okay, just a moment. Okay, now that my yarn is reasonably detangled, this is a two-piece project, so slip knot always, or you can do, I do slip knot and chain two, but you can do the magic loop method. I did my nails and I already messed them up. So chain two, 6 single crochet in second chain from hook. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I try to put the patterns in the description box in case you need to be able to read it, because that helps me sometimes. And then we're going to increase around. So 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 'You might hear my daughter in the background a little bit. 5, and 6. So that leaves you with 12 stitches. And then again, I'm going to be using my tail as a stitch marker. So then you're going to single crochet 1, increase 1. And you're going to do that 6 times. So do that around. So 1 increase, 2 increase. And this is a small enough thing that I'm just gonna keep kind of the whole thing in here. So that was 3 increase, 4 increase, 5 increase, 6 increase. So then you just slip stitch, cut your end, and again, I'm not chaining one this time, which is what I normally do. Oh, it's kind of pointy. Sweetheart, I'm doing something right now. So, just gonna weave these ends in really quick, just so they're out of the way. And just doing it over a couple stitches is fine. I actually like saving my tails, and something I did recently as a little Christmas craft, if this will cooperate. I took some of those clear plastic ornaments just from Joann's. I do plastic because I don't trust anybody with glass. And I just filled it up with a whole bunch of my tails from throughout the year. You know, some I did, you know, similar colors, but then there were a lot of different textures from all the different yarns and projects I did. And then some I just kind of grabbed a handful and shoved it in, and I thought they turned out really neat. So yeah, that's what I like to use them for. They also just look really pretty in this big like lemonade jar thing I have that got a leak in it, so it won't hold lemonade anymore. Okay. So there's our first piece done. That's the front here. So for the second piece, another slip knot. This one you can't do with the magic loop. So you chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then going on the back of your chains. So here's where I normally work, those back bumps. That's where we're working right now. What you're going to do is in the second from the hook, you're going to increase 1, single crochet 4. So 1, helps if I'm in frame, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to kind of turn it, so you're going to be working in the normal part of your loops now, of your stitches. So then you're going to do that all again. So increase 1, 2, and then single crochet 4. 1, 2, 2, 3, just a minute, sweetie, and 4. So that leaves you with 12 stitches, if my math is right. So when I'm doing stuff like this, sometimes I get a little confused, so I'll just count back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So yeah. So now we know which stitch is the next stitch to work in. Well, I'm actually going to grab one of these because this one doesn't stretch quite far enough. So now what we're going to do, we're going to increase 2. We're actually doing basically the same thing as we did with that first piece, except we're making it an oval, so we're adding these chains in the middle. So increase 2, single crochet 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to increase 3. 1 and 2 and 3. And then you're going to single crochet 3 more. 1, 2, don't grab your tail, 3, and then 1 more increase. So that's our second row. And then for the third row, we're going to single crochet 1, increase 1, single crochet 1, increase 1. Then single crochet 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to do the single crochet increase 3 more times. So single crochet, increase 1, single crochet, increase 2, single crochet, increase 3, and then single crochet 3, 1, 2, 3, and then just 1 more of that 1 increase. And then you're going to slip stitch, not chain 1. I was about to do that just for muscle memory. You get kind of a cleaner edge this way, but and then we gotta get our yarn needle back out to weave these ends in. I swear I need to teach my husband how to weave ends in so that I don't have to. It's always my least favorite part. It's a little more enjoyable with knitting, just following the stitches sometimes, because that's how I like to weave my ends in when I'm knitting, but the day I enjoy... Yep, we'll get them soon. The day I enjoy weaving ends in is the day that I've been abducted by aliens and brainwashed. Okay. So we're just going to trim that. So then we have our second little piece. So they line up nicely. So now, more yarn. I prefer to start on the bottom. You hold the 2 pieces together. I like to have the ending. I don't think so. I like to have the ending of this be kind of in the center, just so that I don't have to deal with it. But I do have to deal with this regardless, so I put it at the top. So both of them are center top. So I start at the bottom, have stitches all nicely lined up, and I go through 2 stitches, 1 from each piece, and I just start single crocheting. So I single crochet 1, 2, sometimes likes to fight me a little bit. 3, 4, 5, 6, and I think I'm going to do one more. 7. So just kind of to that first corner, I guess. And then chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's for either a keychain, a carabiner, something like that. And then just in the next stitch of just the back, not the front piece this time, so just the back, you're going to single crochet. So then that makes your nice little loop. It's my cat. Always sad. So then you're just going to come around. And then when I get to this funny stitch, because I'm not entirely sure how many stitches are there, I like going back to the beginning or where the end is going to be and counting how many stitches I need out of the back piece to attach to the front. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need those 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and I suppose I can do one there. It's all right. It's just, it is good to make sure your things will line up properly, because if they don't, it's a little bit of a headache. So then I do one more, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And things are all nicely lined up. As you can see, there's a little bit of a gap there. So what I do to kind of fill that, because here it's going to curl a little bit, but that's all right because we're going to fold it anyways. But here, if we were to just slip stitch, it'll really curl it all in. So what I'm going to do is, in that first stitch that we started, I'm going to do one more single crochet before I slip stitch and fasten off. And now we weave in more ends. When I'm doing something like this, where the ends end up in the same vicinity, what I like to do is kind of keep directions going. Hello, Cupcake, that's my cat. Keep directions going, so with the end of it, I was going this way, so I continued this way before weaving it back, because that kind of almost makes a little knot. And this one, it was the starting piece, so it in a way kind of comes from this direction. So I'm going to make it go that direction. I just feel like it kind of secures things a little bit better and makes them look a little more, I don't know, cohesive, I guess. So trim that, set it to the side. In a little bit, sweetheart. So looking pretty good. My cat likes the light. So now we need our snap, and then we're going to need a button. Got my mini button tin because I don't have enough just yet for a big button tin. Since these have 4 holes, I'm also going to aim for a button that has 4 holes. So give me just a moment to dig through these. So this is the button I chose. My cat is still helping, as you can see. I like one that's contrasting with the color of yarn that I'm working with. That's just a personal preference. So when it comes to sewing, for one, well, I pre-threaded my needle. My cat likes loving on me when I'm holding sharp things. I threaded my needle, and I don't knot the end for something like this, and I'll show you why. But yeah, I like using, I think they're quilters betweens. I like small needles. So from here, you go through that first hole in the bottom, and then up the first hole in the top. I told you she likes to love on me when I'm holding sharp things. Give me a moment. Okay, if anybody wants a cat that's a danger to herself and those around her, boy, have I got the cat for you. So make sure it's not twisted, because mine got twisted. She's got a glove stuck to a sticker. So we're going to leave this a little bit long, and we're going to tie the ends all together in a bit. So I'm going to line this up. Make sure that I actually have it right. Just a moment. Okay, so now that it should be a little more quiet, if I can pick up my needle, that's the cruddy thing about these. So that I've started to stitch on, and with the placement, because I went from the bottom right to the top left, which kind of is inverted on this, it's going to be bottom left on this side, which any hole will do for starting, but helps if you don't drop it. And then we're going to do top left into the front, bottom left. So just snug that all up a little bit, again leaving that long tail. And then top right goes into this side's bottom right. Top right on this side goes into this side's bottom right. Again, my cat likes when I have sharp things. I don't know, man. So we're just gonna get this all nice and secure, and it's okay if it's not perfectly center because it's homemade, and if people wanted something perfect, well, then they shouldn't be getting it homemade. So I'm just going to do a couple more stitches on this. And then then your yarn snaps. So you pause and start that over. Okay, so I just redid all of that, rethreaded my needle, and got back to where I was. So then with this last pass, I'm going to go through, but not go through the snap. So just through the button and my crochet fabric. My cat is moving my light. She's not a very good lighting department, to be honest with you. I need to hire somebody. And then I just do a quick little square knot just under, because then I can cut it fairly short and not have to worry about it if I want. But what I can also do is take my yarn needle, so I'll leave this long, because what I'm going to do real quick, just so it's a little extra secure, I'm going to take my yarn needle, get it kind of started, and then put my thread, all the bits of it, in there, and then just tug it through, and then snip it. So that's nice and secure. That snap is not going to do a whole lot if we don't put the other piece on. So we're just going to do that the same way, just we don't need to worry about that top one, which is nice. So my daughter found a squeaky toy of some kind. So we're just going to stitch that right on there. And again, it's more important that it's secure than pretty. Because no one's going to care if it looks pretty if it falls off after the first use. So again, I didn't bother tying a knot in this end because I just tie the ends all together. So we just stitch that on real quick. It really doesn't take a whole lot. It's quick enough that, again, I'm not bothering to edit this out. Also, I don't like editing. So then we're just going to end in the same place we started. And then we're going to do another little square knot. Don't get your cat's tail in it. They don't appreciate that almost as much as I don't appreciate her trying to be part of this creative process. Trim your ends to the same length so they go on the yarn needle a bit easier. And then I'm actually going to go to this side of the fabric so I can see a bit better and show a bit better. We don't need to sew it a whole lot. It just gives me a little bit of a peace of mind. And then snip that. And I've got carabiners coming in the mail as well as other key rings and stuff, but there you go. It's nice and sturdy. Fits 1/4. You could probably fit 2 in there if you wanted to, you know, if you want to do a lot of shopping, I suppose. But yeah. So that's how you make a little quarter holder. If you make one, let me know how it went for you. If you have any ideas for other things I can make, go ahead and comment. Subscribe if you want to see more. Like the video if you liked it. Dislike it if you didn't like it. Yeah. I'll see you next time. Maybe next week. We'll try. God bless.